Look at this, fam. Good morning, everyone. We've got things and news and stuff. Brian, unfortunately, is super busy doing stay alive things and hobby store things. So I found this random homeless guy and was like, hey, man, homeless dude, you want to talk 40K? And then he snotted like 7 times and said yes. And I was like, cool, that's my guy. Go to Kyle, last name redacted. Let's do this.
I'm here and also homeless, I guess.
I mean, again, don't make fun of homeless people by comparing them to you. We got a balanced data sheet, dude. And we have, you know what? I want to talk about a few things. Because one, they finally just put the actual amount that the points changed next to the thing they changed, as opposed to just saying it up or down. So not only is there a number there, but also because, I don't know, let's say hypothetically you don't see colors very well. And I miss half of them. Now I don't, because it says minus whatever. And that makes me happy. I have joy in my heart because of that. That's all I'm saying. What's up, KR? Doing stuff and things. Also, KR, I'm going to go to it later, but like, why did they change a bunch of things and then just go, hey, Custodes bikes? Hey, fuck you, your points. That, GW did learn from the mistakes. You know what? I'm going to give Roberts, Josh, shout out to Josh. Since he's been there, a lot of cool things. I don't know if any of them are his doing, but there's been good things that have happened since he's been there. So I'm going to give him a shout out. Well done, English lad. Let's start with the data slate. There's stuff, man. There's fucking stuff. I mean, the first 2 points are, I think, the biggest. One, hey, 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 goodbye. Fuck you, 3-inch deep strike. Ha Woo! Pew, pew, pew! Ah, this is such a good change. Dude,
I hate it.
of course you do, you demon lover. Actually, you were demons and Necrons. You played only bullshit. So,
And I was thinking about picking up Grey Knights because
3 more 3-inch deep strike.
it's the only way to play.
I really, really like this. It's a blanket change. Anything that says you can 3-inch deep strike is now 6-inch deep strike. And I think it's fantastic. It makes it's one of the biggest things that GW wants is it streamlines and speeds up the game, because trying to box out 3-inch deep strike is just a fucking nightmare, and it just takes too long. You know what I mean? It takes a long time to do. 6-inch deep strike, significantly different. You know, the model plus 6, of course. It's huge. I love it. The thing about it is it still gets overridden. If you have a 12-inch block out, you know, that still works. I think this is a big deal. What were your takeaways when you first saw it? Obviously, you were mad because every army you play only has 3-inch deep strike.
I mean, it's for the health of the game. 3-inch deep strike was not great, so I'm okay with it. I don't think it really does. Like, it's going to be hard for the people who are relying on that to fix how they play, but
I think it's a big deal because you got things like you can see that they're going away from, or giving you at least options for people not to just straight up steal your objective. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, you screwed up by a 1/2 inch. Now I'm gonna deep strike on your objective. Shit like that. I mean, they're giving consequences. One, you can't do it. Two, if you come down, they gave the Dark Angels detachment the 6-inch heroic, old school heroic, where you don't have to charge. I think they're giving options. I like that they're giving players agency to play without making you micromanage your game. I just think it's a big deal. So, and I'm going to double Orchid today because there's something coming up a little bit later that's a huge deal for the WOG. But one of them is Armor Contempt. or anything that operates like armor contempt. If you make the AP worse on your attacks, the AP worsening effect works for 1 unit, which sometimes is still going to be insane, but it doesn't work for the entire phase like it does right now. So basically, if I don't know, let's just say I'm playing orcs and I shoot you and attack you with my entire army, and you go, hey, I'm AP -1, and I'm like, damn, he's ruined my whole plan. Now, I did that one for you. Now,
Well,
it only works
thank
for
you.
the 1 unit, which I think is huge.
Yeah.
Especially if you're volume shooting somebody. You know, you're volume shooting, volume attacking, multiple attacked, combined arms, things of that nature. I think this is a big deal because there's a shit ton of armies in the game, especially when you're talking melee. Because I think a ton of melee in the game is AP1, AP2. And they were just being shut down by armor contempt. You know what I mean? I think it's a big deal, man. Like you can't just derp up unit of Terminators or just 2-up armor save unit armies. Just can't go YOLO swag armor contempt. You know, you have to actually think about shit. It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I like that it's going to force you into like a timing situation where you have to decide where you're going to use it, not just like blanket, I'm going to use it in the shooting phase and then whatever. Now you have to be like, well, this specific attack sequence I have to be better against.
Yeah, I mean it's a big deal, especially when you're talking about again multi combats and shit like that. You know what I mean? So, and it's also going to be a big deal because you're going to have to layer that. So, if somebody puts up their Swarm Lord, their Caluxus, the, you know, or sorry, the Calidus, their whatever to make your stratagems cost more, you're not going to be able to just, you know, interrupt. Everybody's got armor chem, blah blah blah. 100% KR. I can't stand it. I actually hate. I mean, obviously, I also play a lot of armies that get hurt by it, but I hate armor contempt like with a passion. Uh, if you don't want to be killed, don't stand in the open. There you go. There's my thoughts on everything. I also play a lot of armies where I just die if you can see me anyway. So, but I think it's a big deal. I think armor contempt sucks tornado cocks, and I like the fact that they hurt it. I hope they hurt it more. I hope they kick it while it's down and then pee on it and then set it on fire.
It's probably right where it needs to be now. It doesn't need to be touched again.
I would agree with you. I mean, it's still a strat. It should still have effect. You know what I mean? But it's just not this derp blanket effect where you just go fire and forget kind of thing. Uh, yeah, you know, 100% fucking on a Monday. You know, 2 up save units and cover with AOC was toxic. You know, it's ridiculous that you have like this giant volume of AP1 weapons that were just pointless. You know what I mean? I love how they did it. They didn't make it shit. They didn't say it's completely dead. What they said was it works against one specific unit. You know what I mean? And that's fantastic. But it means that if I shoot the rest of my goddamn army at you, you know what I mean? I'm gonna have an effect. So strip. I mean, 2 things: armor contempt and the fact that you can literally get covered by a leaf blowing in front of your unit. It's just so strong. You know what I mean? Everyone always has cover. It feels like. So unless you can strip cover, they just have cover. Especially when you're talking about tanks, big creatures, and shit like that, and or just literally anybody in the unit. I mean, to be fair, I mean, think about you're playing a unit of Grey Knight Terminators. There's always the one guy whose sword just pokes out behind the building, and you're like, looks like you can't see everybody in the unit because Ted put his sword behind a wall. You're like, that's a stupid rule.
So I want to go off on a small tangent here.
Hit me.
It has to do with Armor of Contempt. We're playing in, Brad and I and some other people are playing in an online TTS Teams League, right? How many weeks in a row have I said, stop pairing me into Armor of Contempt 2-up armies?
Every single week. And we've done it every week.
Because I couldn't punch through this every single time.
I do enjoy that we kept doing that, though.
Yeah.
Also, shout out Sean Rice. We keep trying to screw him over, but he just refuses.
Here's your worst matchup, Sean. I 20-0'd him on turn 2.
Yeah, exactly. Guy tapped out. Like, how? I don't know. I rolled some dice and everybody died. Like I guess. So I I think this is huge. If they did absolutely nothing else, I think that this data slate is a victory. So you know what? I'm turning gears for just a second. If you guys have not watched Secret Level on Amazon Prime, I feel like I should get money for this. I've been talking about it so much. Holy shit. It's fucking awesome. The
Is the
40
whole thing out? I just watched the teaser. Is
No, the
the
whole
whole
thing
thing?
just came out yesterday.
I haven't seen it yet.
Dude, you got to watch it. It's the whole thing's really really good. I think they fucking hit it out of the park. The dudes that do Love Death and Robots are those guys. It's fantastic, but I watched the 40K episode 3 times in a row. Yes, I'm biased. Yes, I'm a 40K lore nerd, but it's Titus. Uh dude, it is so badass. It is bananas. Like there's certain parts that are just fucking insane. They just have random cultist biker and the Marine just shoulder blocks him and explodes the guy. It's just fucking nuts, dude. Oh, KR, yeah, dude. I think all the episodes were good, but the 40K episode for 40K fans, and I'm such a lore nerd. Oh, it was legendary badass. Oh yeah, the 40K part was exactly 40K part was so grim dark. It felt, I don't know, it just felt like it's one of the things that's felt the most 40K-esque that I've watched. It just had that whole feel of that grim dark atmosphere, you know. They're going down for effectively a suicide mission. They know it from the beginning, like go for it. And they just rock it out. Oh, the Armored Core bit was badass too. I watched all of them, man. Secret level's better than all of the. I love Death and Robots, and I think the secret level was laughably better than the Love Death and Robots, and I love the Love Death and Robot stuff. It was Keanu Reeves crushed it, dude, 100% Nurgle Matt. Oh, the Arnold one was fantastic. The Arnold one was like the most lighthearted of all of them, and it was just kind of fun, you know. But they killed it, dude. Like I said, the 40K. If you watch anything else, just watch the 40K one. It fucking it ruled. It was just so 40K esque. It's also short, so like I feel like I want to watch that like right before I play every game. Just watch that and then jump into the game. All right, that's my 2 cent check on that. But I've been so excited about it that I just want to talk about it a little bit. So back to the battles, the data slate, battle slate, whatever it's called. And I'm
Battle slate.
whatever. I mean, we killed it. We got 2 things, amazing. Let's scroll down. We've got some changes. Miracle Dice. They basically nerfed Miracle Dice production, which is fine because I actually thought there was a chance that they might really fucking kaboom this. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on it? It's just, they basically made it the start of the battle round and end of phase for each one. I don't think this is going to change them that much. Sisters players, wish we had more Sisters players on it. But I don't know if this is going to make a difference.
What is how much are they losing?
I just don't think it's that much. I mean, it's just, you can't just double, you know what I mean? They're basically just getting less. I don't know if they care. I think that the Bringers of Flame detachment rolls are going to be a little bit different. So, because they made it so that an attack within 6 adds 1 to the state characteristic, and they made all their stratagems went up a CP. I think that's going to be a bigger deal. And he's live from the examination room. And he said he wanted to go live with me when Grey Knights went live. So I'm like, we're going live today. I go, this afternoon. He goes, what's this afternoon? I go, 11. He's like, 11 is not this afternoon. Who taught you how to tell time? And I'm like, that's where you're wrong. No one taught me. Clearly. But I think the Bringers of Flame detachment rule changes are going to be significantly bigger than that. So, and then they also made the Penitent House slightly different. because they did this the you can instead of you have to. You know what I mean?
So for the vows.
Yeah, I don't know if I care. I don't think that one was a big deal, anyways, though. So, nah.
I mean, we'll see. What is the what are the two stratagems do? Cleansing Flame and Blazing Ire.
It's the mortals and everything. It's the all basically all of the things that they could do where they could turn mortals and maximize stuff.
So they're
So
just balancing out the feel bads for specifically sisters with this.
I mean, Joe, that's true. Joe goes 40% of your Miracle Dice production over the 5 game turns if you include Saint Catherine. That is true. I didn't include Saint Catherine on that because Saint Catherine now only works on the Miracle Dice at the beginning of the battle round. So yes, I still think this is fine though. I think the sisters were fine. I think that you're just not creating a billion Miracle Dice. And to be fair, I think that as a sisters player, you have to be happy-esque with this because there was a real chance they were going to bring, General Grievous wielding 4 Nerf bats. You know what I mean? To sisters. So I don't know. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. So I think that there was a real chance that Miracle Dice were going to be shot, from a t-shirt cannon. And I think that the production going down is fine. That's my opinion. But I also don't play very much sisters. You know what I mean? So, I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Yeah, I run into sisters pretty infrequently these days, so
I mean, I played sisters. I just don't play enough sisters to have a real opinion on this. You know what I mean? So I'd have to go, hey, I use X amount of dice on the regular, you know what I mean, for my army to work. So I could see the, dedicated sisters players let me know. Obviously, everybody's going to be annoyed because it's worse. It is worse. You know what I mean? Is it worse enough to make a big difference on where sisters play? I don't know. You know what I mean? I do think the Bringers of Flame stuff is probably bigger. But I've seen a lot of people running Martyred Lady and with that. Now, okay, I have to go to this because I know that KR has been pissy about his Custodes for a long time now, and the fact that bikes, because the fly rule got obliterated into the sun as far as shit like that. But they made bikes more expensive and they buffed them up. Toughness to 7, wounds characteristic to 8. They also juiced up their salvo launcher to be strength 10 AP3, D6 plus 1 wounds. So I don't know. It's still hard for me because it's a giant. I mean, a Praetor bike is what, 3 inches long?
yeah, almost.
It's just, I really feel that all jet bikes, anything with a jet bike profile, I mean, again, as an Eldar player, I'm a little biased on this, but like anything with jet bikes should just be able to go over a wall. Do they fly? You know what I mean? Why is it that the jet bikes only can get about a foot off the ground? Like they have like problems with the revving it up. Like what? You know what I mean? I just think that I get that they didn't want everybody flying over shit, making it overpowered because fly was overpowered for a while. But like you really nerfed the shit out of things like jet bikes and make it specific to jet bikes, to be honest with you. I don't know.
I think these are good changes. I think they're cool and they might push the bikes into play. Well, like not only did the shield captain get upped, like all the Virtus Praetors went up too.
Yeah.
T7 5 wounds, like that's pretty big. And
yeah, I agree.
Getting extra damage on their weapons is not bad either.
Yeah, and they give the Hurricane Bolter AP1, which again with the, I guess with the, to be honest, to be fair, when you couple it up with armor content changes, getting a little AP makes a big difference now. You know what I mean? Especially when you're talking about, volume shooting people down. He's wearing a hood because he looks like a homeless person, and I said he has to do something about it. I wear a hat because I'm a feeble old man and I'm always cold.
I got on stream and Brad said I was terribly ugly and needed to put a
Can you cover more yourself up? Do you have a mask? the the uh the other thing is that I'm also too cheap to turn my heat on unless it's freezing in my house. So I'm literally that old guy that's like, put on a jacket, you're fine. Uh-oh, Matt with Fido Super Chat. All I wanted for Christmas was an Imperial Agents Army rule, and Santa told me to go fuck myself. Go Orange! uh, uh, so, we're gonna talk about the Custodes detachment. I think that Dreadnought detachment is boss mode, by the way. Woo! Do you want to side talk about that real quick?
No, let's keep going. We'll get back
All
to
right,
it.
fine. If you're gonna be like that and try to keep me on target, AdMac, did any of this shit? I thought this was the shit that already changed, right? It's only the red stuff, correct?
Yeah.
Let's keep on rolling. Like the chocolate starfish. You know what happened to Eldari in this? Absolutely nothing. No point changes, no changes to anything. Lord Solar. What did this change to? I thought he already could do 3 orders to. Did he change who he can give this to? Because I already thought this was who he could give it to, anyways.
I don't know.
Somebody that
I don't
plays
know
guard, tell
Asher's
me
on
this one.
term. Yeah. Lyle messaged me this morning and said his list went up 190 points and he was very sad.
Well, the points, we'll go over the points soon. Yes, all of this.
That's the only thing I know that happened currently.
Matt's got it. No more orders to Bully Grand. Got it. That makes more sense to me. Because I was like, I was trying to figure out who he was giving orders to before, and that wasn't here. But then, of course, precision drops. It's everybody for 6 inches. And super heavy. Oh, yeah. I forgot about super. I used to be able to. I mean, this is fine because it's a nice rule. I mean, it's a balance change, obviously, in a balanced data slate. He's Lord Solar. He should be able to give orders to whoever the fuck he wants. But yeah, Baneblades are running wild. That goddamn Baneblade meta was just crushing us. Let's screw down here.
I'd like to spend a lot of time on the Blood Angels rules.
Yes, none.
Got it. All right.
Moving on. Trader Slant changed a bit. I read this and I don't know what changed. It's like until your opponent's level of control over that objective marker is greater than yours at the end of the phase. I mean, it's just saying it's sticky. I don't know what had changed with this. They changed it. Did it just have shitty writing before? Because it's the same as sticky was before. You know what I mean? That one I just don't know. The 12-inch Battle Shock. One squad is good. I agree on that. So
it probably has to reflect the changing on sticky.
Yeah.
They just had to clarify.
They cleared again. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal. I do like the fact that they finally said that a stupid the repulsor can hold 7 dudes, so you can have 6 guys in the character as opposed to not. And then they changed the Crusader squads. They have an AP of 1. Again, it's going to be a bigger deal now that we have armor contempt changes. I think it's a big deal. Just having armor contempt sucks. It just makes me unhappy. So I think that if you have AP, it should be relevant. You know, it just matches the new wording. Okay, that's what I thought. It's just all they're doing is cleaning it up. It's not anything new. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was just, sometimes they change the wording to the match, and then I just don't know. All of these are just the 6-inch change, which is big. I actually think the Crusader squads having AP 1's a big deal. So, Knights.
Yeah. Predator Annihilators reroll.
I think this is a big deal. They reroll all the damage rolls. I think that's a huge deal, man. Because they've got a lot of D6+1 or D6+2 weapons, you know what I mean? That's a huge thing. So I like that quite a bit.
nothing with demons. They just reworded it so you can.
Yeah, I mean they did change the Lampley Bite to be on a 3 instead of a 4.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then they went up some points,
I was gonna
but
say they went
who
up in
cares?
points. They
Yeah.
went up in points so you could get +1 weapon skill. Dark Angels. All these things I thought were exactly the same. Also, what the fuck is going up with the Lion and Bobby G going? We'll go up. We'll talk about that in points in a minute. But holy shit! So again, they changed the reroll the damage roll. They finally put Deep Strike on Mortarion.
Yeah, the lion's weapons went up in damage and then gained death wounds.
Well, it just went up. His sweep went up. His regular strike was already 4 damage. It's the same one. I think the sweep's a big deal though. Having a multi-damage sweep attack is huge. This means that this dude can just take Marines and just
Mulch
fucking
them.
throw them in the garbage. You know what I mean? He's got 16 attacks. You know what I mean? So with sustained, and you can oath that. Jesus. I agree that his points going up 30. We're going to talk about that when we go to the points. He did not deserve 30 points for getting 1 damage on his sweep. I think he was already overcosted. Boom. Take that. I think the Lion was already too much. But this does make him way more viable when you're talking about putting people down. It also means that when he does his sweep attacks against 1 wound models with pain, if he attacks like, a 20-man Krieg squad and shit like that, GSC, that he puts them down and they stay down. Know that you're trash and stay down. So I think that's a big deal.
Okay, it is, but he went up in points and he's still already kind of bad. Like,
yes.
what's the point of taking him?
I don't know if there is, but I'm just saying at least the sweep attack does something. You know what I mean? I think that they should have gave him the damage upgrade and they should have left him the fuck alone. If he didn't go up any points and he got this, I'd be like, that sounds pretty decent. I do like they gave the Black Knight combat weapons devastating wounds. Is it a big deal? Probably not. The Raven Wing Black Knights. They only have 3 attacks, but it's gonna chip damage. You know what I mean? For sure. So I did like the Samuel Grandmaster of the Raven Wing ability, because if he's eligible to shoot and declare charge in a turn which would advance, he adds +1 to advance and charge. That's something. It's not the end of the LBL, but it's kind of cool. So
yeah, that's fine.
Now this is the fucking hotness right here, and if you don't think so, you are wrong, because GSC just became awesome for me because I hated, wait for it, hated the random stupid rolls and just, hey man, how does ambush work? Well, sometimes I derp it up and get super lucky and roll a bunch of 5s and my whole army comes back. And sometimes I'm sad.
More often than not, you're sad.
Well, if I'm rolling them, yes. You're like, what'd you get back? A 5-man squad with a flamer.
All right, hold on. Before we talk about GSC, we didn't talk about the impact of Mortarion having Deep Strike, because it is big.
I mean, why didn't he have Deep Strike the whole time? He's got a fucking wings.
And he's also a demon, but it doesn't matter. Him having Deep Strike now is crazy.
True.
He's already like the cheapest you can be to be a demon primer.
Let's be honest. He's the worst of the demon princes by a long shot.
He's still good.
He's not. They don't. When Angron and Magnus are hanging out, Mortarion often doesn't have a notification on his phone that anything happened. So it does change it. He is better now. 100%. I agree. However, you know what? He's fine. It makes a difference. Sorry, Mortarion.
Puts you where you want him to be more often than not.
True. I'll give you that. So let's stop talking about Mortarion and how sad he is and the fact that he pouted for 10,000 years. That's a real number, by the way. He went back to the warp and literally pouted for 10,000 years. So when he got done pouting, you know what he did? He talked about how much more awesome resurgence points are than rolling randomly. It's awesome. Awesome. I think they did that for I think they did that for a reason. 12 actually makes it super even in the stuff that you can bring back. Uh, but this is fantastic. You know what I mean? So effectively, you get 10 resurgence points each time a model from your army is destroyed. You know, if every model has this rule, which they do, you can spend the relevant number of resurgence points and bring that whole unit back. This is awesome. So it's sweet. They gave him an enhancement right here. You can get 2 additional resurgence points with that enhancement. It's badass, man. You get to pick and choose exactly what you want to bring back. Hey, man, do you want to bring back 6 units of acolyte hybrids at 5-man units? Cool. You want to bring back 2 big units? Cool. You want to bring aberrants and something small? I just think that this is tactically, it gives you agency over what the hell you want to do. It's not just luck. This makes you make decisions. You have agency over how you play the game. I love that. I think this is fantastic. You know what I mean? You want to play super MSU and bring your shit back. It also means you can change it based on what you're playing against. Do I want to bring back all my small units? Do I want to bring a couple big units because I need to bring back the beefier stuff? This lets you play the game. This is fucking fantastic. You know what I mean? They hit it out of the park with this one. This is a home run. This is a grand slam home run. Walk-off home run. It's amazing.
So what is your average of things?
Like
you get to choose 3. You basically get 3 things now instead of maybe 3.
Well, no, you can also, again, you can get 6 if you want to bring back all your little units. You know what I mean? If you want to play like
Yeah,
super
I'm just saying,
MSUs.
like, if you're weighing the impact of the unit versus like the cost of the resurgence, you're thinking,
Right.
how many times are you actually going to put aberrants back in more than you're going to put acolyte hybrids? Probably way more.
Well, it just depends on what you're doing, though. It depends on who you're fighting, though. Think about it. You know what I mean? If I'm playing an elite army, I might just get all of my little units back and just score 40 in secondary. That's just a real option. You know what I mean? So like you bring back all your hand flamer units, or you bring back 2 big units of jackals. You know what I mean? It's gonna you can completely tie this down what you're playing against and what you need. It's this is going to make it so that the best GSC players are going to have the most agency on the board. And that's, if you've got a really good skill cap, if you are really skilled with this army, you're going to make great decisions. You know what I mean? And you're going to be rewarded for it. I think this is fantastic. I think it's fantastic. You know what I mean? You just have a lot of mojo here, and the cold ambush is exactly the same as it was before. It just goes into the markers and all that kind of shit. But I think this is boss mode. You know what I mean? So
yeah, this is really good.
Yeah.
It's less good for people who don't like GSC. You're just gonna have way more things coming back.
Well, yeah, but you also don't have the derp luck. Like sometimes it sucks because it feels like your opponent just gets a never-ending nonsense. You know what I mean? They just keep rolling 5-ups, and when you're playing them, sometimes it feels like you never get your shit back. You know what I mean? Also, like and subscribe. It really helps. Leave a comment for the comment gods to get us out there. Appreciate your help. GC win rate, I'd have a hard time saying skill in their faction together at Zoobs, but I think that goes a lot into the fact that it was random. You know what I mean? So you just had people sometimes making it feel oppressive. Now you know exactly how much they can get back. That is what they give back. Do they make good decisions? You should be rewarded for the good decisions. You should be punished for poor decisions. That's how the game's played. You shouldn't just be rewarded because YOLO Swaggins, baby Jeebus loves me. I rolled nothing but 5-ups every time a unit dies. That's annoying. This is, hey, I played well and I made good decisions. Well, cool. I like that. This is 100% better. I know it's a dice game, but I try to take as much randomness out of the game as I can possibly take. Exactly. You know what I mean? You just, sometimes you get, the game already has dice. You know what I mean? I don't need more random shit. So, Outlander Claw. I don't mind this at all. It's just +1 OC, whatever. I do think this is a big deal that they immediately gave an enhancement for 2 additional resurgence points. They changed all of the range characteristics of the demo charges to 8, just fine. It's basically grenade range, which is what they are. So I like this quite a bit. The Coluxus basically says 6 inches. Did you just go outside and wash your dishes or something? What the hell just happened there?
What?
What is that background noise now?
I have no idea.
What's crazy?
My air turned on.
It's so loud. The loudest ever.
It's not that loud.
Annihilation Legion. Add 1 to the AP. Meh. Did they change the hypercrypt?
Yeah, they changed how many units you can pick up at the end with
hell yeah.
hyperphasing from 3 to 2.
That's such a big deal.
Yep, and also with the 6-inch. This is a targeted attack. In the
targeted attack. Do you feel targeted?
Yeah, I mean, I'm done with Necrons, but this just feels bad for hypercrypt players.
Yeah, well, they just got a detachment that says, "Hey, are you playing a vehicle? It's +1 hit, +1 to wound. Suck it." Exactly, KR. It's the loudest thing ever. Like, I toilet flushing. Exactly. I didn't even know that Kyle was on the toilet the entire time we've been doing this. He just finally flushed the toilet on us. Oh, this is a big deal. I think Annihilation looks a little bit cooler. But let's talk to what's really fucking important here. WOG! WOG! Called in the command phase, as it goddamn should have always been. Got that off my chest. This is so much better. Dude, orcs calling the WOG in the command phase. Yes. Hold on. Yes. And some more yes. And the changes to armor and contempt. Oh, I don't know. The army that's literally sitting on 90% of their army having AP1. It just makes orcs. Gork and Mork, we pray to you. We love the changes you've made. We appreciate you looking out on these trying times, the trying times. We appreciate you looking out for us. I'm gonna call a WOG today in my life.
You're gonna have to hear the whatever's happening in the background. I'm muting myself back and forth to help, but 2 weeks ago you were literally crying into your own sweater about how orcs didn't have enough and you were done with them and you were gonna burn all your models.
Yes.
And now you're like, I'm back, baby. Back.
Gork and Mork heard my cries. I went to the top of the mountain and I pleaded with them to have mercy on a war boss. And they said, "We've heard your prayers." And I said, "Thank you." That's all I have to say. Things are better. Are they perfect? No, but we don't feel that this is. But by the way, calling the WOG when you go second feels so stupid. You're like, "Hey, would you like to call the WOG?" And you're like, "Yes." And your opponent just backs up and you go, it's so dumb. It's so stupid. How much better it works? Like a tier? Yes. The armor and contempt plus me having to call WOG at the top of the round was a nightmare. So this makes a huge difference in orcs. Like wildly different. Also, when you multi-charge somebody, you can actually do something now because they only get armor contempt against one of the units. This is a gigantic thing. So the hunt still doesn't exist for me. So let's talk about Marines, man. This is actually kind of a big deal. There's like a whole shit ton of stuff. They also beefed up the shit out of all these special characters. Go that in a second. 1, Oath of Moment. If you're not playing one of the specials, Templars, Dark or Blood Angels, Death Watch, or Space Wolves, +1 to wound on your oath target, dude. That's legit, man. especially when they added some of these things like, oh, I don't know, heavy intercessors getting damage 2 on their regular bolt rifles, uh, Infernus Marines getting another AP from AP 0 to AP 1. They did go up in points though. I think it's a big deal. Ultramarines were doing fine. We're going to talk about some of their point increases in a minute because with Bobby G, Jesus, I'm going to pour one out for him. Getting a +1 on double oath is not worth a billion point increase. Heavy bolters also went to hitting on 3s instead of quads. I think these are legit. You know what I mean? +1 to wound is a very big mechanic, like very big. What are your thoughts on that? Also, why do you have your air conditioning on? It's December.
It's the heat.
Are you standing on it? Is it on your head?
Yes. It's like 13 feet away. I don't know how it's so loud. I don't know what my mic is picking up, but it's really not that loud in real life. So.
I don't believe you. You're like, well, how do you heat your place? I have an industrial sized fan that blows a campfire at me.
It's like obnoxiously long at this point. I've been waiting for this to stop. It never runs this long. But I mean, yeah, the +1 to wound is huge. So look, it stopped. See? Everything's good now. The +1 to wound is big, and also like a bunch of things that we were expecting to get hit didn't get hit, where +1 to wound actually just cracks. Like Vindicators not getting touched at all. Now your Vindicators are wounding most things on 2s.
It's heating the fire's border. That's fantastic.
Don't forget, I live on the street, so that was the street heat.
That is true. You're just sitting waiting for the city vent to blow. so let's talk about some of these characters, man.
I have no idea what any of these things changed from and what they mean.
Well, basically making your jump pack guys OC2 is legit with Shrike. Crystal Khan made Outriders OC3. Also, everybody's basically getting +1 with their stuff. But let's talk about Outriders. Outriders' new ability. Each time a model of this unit makes a melee attack, if the unit made a charge move, improve the strength and damage characteristic of that attack by 1. And think about it. So they're doing +1 strength, +1 damage, and if they're attacking an oath target, they're +1 to wound.
So they'll be strength 6 because they're strength 5, strength 6, 2 damage.
Damage 2. I mean, that makes them like actually legit, I think.
No, but sure.
I mean, is it something?
It's something to like take maybe 1 3-man unit for like objective play, and then you happen to attack somebody at some point because they're still just terrible.
Maybe, but I mean, it's a combo. You got to get the synergy going on. You know what I mean?
How many points are you going to invest in a synergistic?
Probably not many. Also, KR just made me get all upset about this. Fuck, why does Khan not have a bike? It's so stupid. The guy that leads the bike army doesn't have a bike.
With a named bike?
Yeah, the name of his bike is Foot Patrol. This bitch ass is walking.
He's a bird. Bird is almost a bike. It starts with the same letter.
Oh, that's true. In BA Liberators, Outriders are great, but they're not going to get the +1 to wound because they don't get the bonus to the oath. It might be better though. Reroll the damage with Predators. And Scepters went down. We're going to talk about that in a bit because the Scepters went down in points. Reavers still suck. Sorry, Batman. Am I back? I feel back. Positive talk about Outrider murdered the stream. I gotta watch out for it. Can you hear me? Are we good?
I hope so.
What do you mean you hope so?
I'm no longer on the stream.
You're on the stream?
It's okay. Oh, I'm back.
Don't say that you weren't on the stream. We love you, buddy. Ah,
It's so cold out here in the streets.
so let's talk about the Reapers. So yeah, they make it -1 like the Vanguard. It's within 3 inches like the Vanguard. Can I make this work? I don't know. How is he getting into a 6-inch aura? It's only 3 inches. Do they have a buff for that? I don't know about that. Let's look at the Intercessor rule again. Each time the unit is selected, a shooter can use this ability. If it does, until the end of the phase, add 2 to the attack's characteristics of bullet rifles equipped by models in this unit, and you can only select 1 unit as the target of all these attacks. That's so many shots. I actually think this is legit. Because you can just pick up idiots. You know what I mean? It's not like you're shooting intercessors at hard targets. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on that? Also, +1 to wound, if you wanted to.
Where are you reading this from?
Hooked on Phonics worked for me. The intercessor ability. Basically, they get +2 attacks. Are you having a hard time reading this?
Yes.
I'm having a hard time why it's taking you so long for this.
Because I'm on the streets or whatever the joke is today.
He belongs to the streets.
Okay, so yeah, I found it. It's the one that's all red. You should have said that. And all of the red.
All of the red is the new stuff. So I feel like I don't have to say that.
I mean, you get more shots on bolt guns.
Yeah, you know what? I'm moving on. You took too long.
All right.
So, Bobby G gets 2 Author of the Codex abilities. I don't know if we're going to talk about his rules in a second or his points in a second. Yeah, exactly. 3 bikes are a Taliban, yeah, especially in the new detachment. I mean, a Taliban that's +2 movement, +2 advance, +1 charge. Yeah, probably.
That stands back up.
Yeah.
Probably better than 3 bikes. Probably.
This Who's on First Comedy Show Needsburg. I didn't realize we were a comedy duo, though. And Giles just pooped his pants at Denny's and didn't know what was going on. Where am I, buddy? All the characters basically add +1 to the OC of people when they're with them. Yeah, I mean, I like that various combat blades and knives. Like you just found some shit in the shed out back, and that's what you're working with. My God, why do I have so many ads today? This is insanity. Basically, everybody's getting AP1, which I think is a huge deal. Again, coupled with the armor and contempt changes, I think it's a huge deal.
Oh, we just glossed over the stern guard thing.
Exactly, they finally sharpened the knives. Hans and Mordecai were everybody that has combat blades and knives was given AP1, just period. So if you've got a knife, they finally fucking sharpened it up and made it work. Also, Wolf Scouts, AP1. Boom! Basically, if you have a combat knife, you get AP1. I think it's a huge deal, especially now that we nuked armor contempt. Predator's good. Tyranids got some serious shit, man. Let's scroll down a little bit more because it's assimilation swarm. Effectively, you can regen better shit. I don't know how much I think that's going to change anything.
Is it equivalent to bringing back units now that they can only do that once?
Yeah, but that's the warrior detachment. This is the assimilation detachment. I don't know.
Say regenning squads. Like you're not going to regen as many, but you're still going to be pumping out dudes. It's D3+1.
Yeah. World leaders, I already did that. They gave Harvester to the Norn assimilator for this detachment, or not for this detachment, just because it just did. Space Scouts, I took a unit like a while ago, just because they get so many special weapons. Where's points? Where did I put my points? There we go. Let's talk about points. Jesus Christ, we've been talking for a while. I didn't realize that. You know why? Because I don't shut the fuck up. Hey guys, Castigators and Exorcists went up in points. Are you shocked? Can you believe it? Oh, of course they did. Everybody knows they were going up. However, man, Exorcists just got kicked right in their stupid faces. Am I sad about this? Not really. I play Eldar and Orcs, and I don't really like getting bombed with fucking indirects. So, yeah. So, all of the yes. Custodes. Everybody that got a buff went up in points. Not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah, you're just not spending 225 points for 3 craters. Like, that sucks. That is not good value. Not for what they.
Or $160 for your Dawn Eagle jet bike. Yeah, I don't think. Edmech. Robots went down. Cool with that. They also got a little bit of a buff. Titanicus, nobody cares. Eldar.
First time, nothing.
Eldar got absolutely nothing, and I love every part of it. Also, who cares? They're getting a codex in like 4 weeks. Astra Militarum, otherwise known as IG, to the known peoples of the world. You look more alive, and that's nice. Thanks, Alan. I have not been doing well. This is the first day in a long time that I've actually felt like a human, which is why I went live today. So, Hellhound went up. You know what else went up? Everything that you were playing went up.
Good. This is the kind of thing you love to wake up and see. This drives me. Today I'm having a great day. I'm going to be productive because of all of this red in Astra Militarum.
So, I mean, it is literally everything that you had in your army. It went up. What went up? Yes. That unit that you were playing in guard, that one went up. Yes. Just say yes. So I'm good with that. I have no tears are shed. Repulsors and repulsor executors went down, which is good because they're both still overpriced. They should have went down more. They went down 10 and 5 points respectively. Repulsor executioners should have a 2-up save. That's all I'm saying. Also, thank baby Jesus. Why did they not put these points next to it the whole time? Love it. Mephiston went up. That's a goddamn travesty because I love him. Sacred Guard went down, which is good because I think they were overpriced.
Really a little too expensive for what they did.
Yeah, exactly. Sisters didn't even get a 5-point token drop and crap no one took. True story. They just went, hey, your rules are shittier, and the tanks you took probably 5 of all went up in points. Suck it. Demons. Bloodletters went down. No one cares. They still suck. Screamers went up because they got +1 weapon skill. I don't think that's good.
Necessary and needed to happen.
Yeah. Chaos Knights. I'm starting to debate on whether you can now bring so many small Chaos Knights that you can swamp the board. Executioner's going down to $130. That you could feel a lot of dudes here. You know what I mean? That's just a lot of little knights. They haven't been doing super great, so maybe that'll take it. Yeah, Space Marines. Bikers went down. Oh, I meant to say 6-man bikers went down. The amount that you weren't taking. You know what else went down in CSM? Nothing. Also, Lion got 2 damage on his sweep attacks and went up 30 points. Fuck you. I'm sorry, but just come on. It
completely needed.
There's so much. No.
Everyone who was playing Dark Angels was jamming the Lion, obviously.
Death Guard, absolutely nothing. Death Watch, absolutely nothing. Jakari, I guess, screw you, Skari. You're making the Void Raven Bomber go up. It's the only person that was playing that. Grots went up, but only if you're taking 6s. Scourges went up. If you're taking 5s, I don't know if anybody's ever taken 10 Scourges, ever. So I don't know why you would be taking that. Also, the land should have went down, not up, but that's just me. Right, players are evil. A little bit, but like, yeah. Rex went down, which I thought was weird, but whatever. These were super random changes. Abominant and the Ridge Runners went up. I kind of saw that coming because those guys were spamming those in a claw pretty much. So anytime you see something in every list, it is up. Nemesis Dread Knights went up 5 points. I have no idea how the Nemesis Dread Knight went through 2 point adjustments with seeing only this, so you should just be happy that it only went up 5 points. So, Imperial Agents. The Vindicator Assassin went down a lot. He still sucks the tornado of dicks, so I don't care. Imperial Knights got the exact same thing. Their version of, the Executioner and the Warglaive both went down 10 points. Again, I said the same question of, is this enough to make you spam so many little knights? Thunderkin went down 5 and 10 points respectively. I love these guys. They should go down even more because I think that I really identify with a squatty dude with a giant gun. I feel my people, I empathize. So that's a big thing. Necrons. Hey, do you have a Catan? Well, it went up in points. Yes. Wraiths went down because, after they gutted that detachment, and they can bring them back down. Amphibian Destroyers went down, which I think is a big deal because, man, those guys were wildly overpriced for what they did. They're the ones that move faster and hit like a wet noodle.
Yeah.
10-man units of warriors went down. I kind of think it's weird that just the 10. I mean, I guess people were jamming 20s and using the monolith on that, but like, I don't think that much of it. Plasmaster went down, which I actually think is kind of funny that he went down and the Royal Warden went up. So, whatever. Hexmark went up. He's just tanked all the time. Ghost Ark and Immortals both went down. I actually think the Immortal change is it's only 5 points, but I actually like it quite a bit because 5-man Immortals is so good for late game bouncing. If you're talking about Hypercrypt.
Well, now they can only do 6. But let's talk about Necrons for just a minute. Like, all of these changes, again, it feels targeted, right? Like, all of these changes feel like they want you to stop trying to jam as many big, dumb things onto the table and start playing with actual models. Like,
yeah, but Warriors, I mean, also, they just gave you a detachment that said, bring
put the big
dumb models on the board. Yeah. Like Silent King and 3 DDAs, you know what I mean?
So like the Hexmark, the Destroyer goes up, Hexmark goes up 5 points, and then for what? He goes up 5 points after the whole detachment loses the ability to pick up 3. Like the point you brought the Hexmark to bring Dimensional Overseer or whatever on it, so he could pick up 4.
An extra 1.
So he's getting punished too.
But I think like the thing is you bring him and then you get back to bringing 3 because a lot of times you didn't even bring him because you didn't want to pick up 4. You know what I mean? So maybe he's needed now.
And then obviously Shard of the Deceiver is where it's at.
Yeah. All I have to say is, why did my war buses both go up 10 points apiece? Just leave my orcs alone. Scrolling. Marines. Inferno squads went up 10 and 20 points respectively. Why?
People were spamming them.
Just heavy intercessors went up a lot. I mean, you knew they were going to go up because they changed their damage, that they're just better, but I still think this is too much, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's to balance for the AP changes.
Correct. I mean, maybe. You know what I mean? But they're less durable themselves. You know what I mean? I don't know if I agree with this. So that's a lot, man. You know what I mean? 30 points is a lot for a big unit. Calgar went up 15. He was played a lot, especially in Vanguard. Inceptors went down. I love this a lot because I think they just overpriced the shit out of them. It's a great unit, but also without the 3-inch Deep Strike going to 6-inch, I don't think they're as ridiculous as before. So I think that them going down in price makes a lot of sense. And Uriel Ventress went up 20. I saw that coming just because of the fact that he gives that deep strike, especially in Vanguard, to that Centurion Dev Squad. Reavers went up. Come on, man. You gave him +1 AP rule. Leave him alone. Nobody was taking them. Uh, Also, Bobby G,
Yeah,
60 freaking points, man.
it's
Come
egregious.
on, dude. Come on. For real? Ah, just come on. I mean, dude, he was barely getting taken anyways. You're just like, hey, man, you know how you saw playing like 3 lists? Well, how about 60 points? You're definitely OP to the maximum. Well, I mean, he gets +1 to wound on his extra ore. He's got an extra ore, and Oath got +1 to wound. I don't know. This is a thing. Stern Guard got a boost on their weapons. Basically, everybody got AP on stuff.
Also,
Uh,
they full reroll wounds now.
Correct.
But
So,
like, so the point of this, from what I thought, the point of the Space Marine balance was like they were supposed to help Space Marines out. They said they weren't in a great spot. They were going to give them some love. This doesn't feel like love. They got like some damage love, and then they're all getting pointed up to reflect it.
that's a lot of points, too, dude. I mean, 60 points for Bobby G, 20 points for the Stern Guard. 200 points for a Stern Guard squad sounds brutal. I'm sorry, it just does. And you have to shoot the O target for them to be worth a shit. Maybe I'm completely wrong and this will be amazing, but that seems like a lot. Also, dude, 60 points for Bobby G. Jesus Christ. Oof. Just fucking oof. Stern Guard are OC2 now, when they're with what's his face. Um, yeah, I don't know. We'll see that. The Stern Guard might. Wolf Scouts and Wolfen both went up, basically because they got extra AP. I could see that. They were like, hey, you got extra AP, but I don't think it matters. Tau got absolutely nothing except from a boy. Man, I can't believe Crawley made the Tiger Shark go up 50 points. You can't even bring it in, dude. The Tiger Shark's so big that unless you rapid ingress it, you can't shoot it the turn you come in, and it went up 50 points. I feel like we should just take a picture of this and send it to him.
He'll
Wow.
still play it. He'll just be like, well, they had to adjust for the fact that only me, I'm the only one doing this. They had to nerf Crawley.
They did nerf Crawley, specifically nerf Crawley.
Thousand Suns got 0 changes.
Yep. Tyranids got a whole bunch of tiny point reductions. A bunch of their big shit went down. Both Norns went down 15. The Trigon and Tyrant Guard. Tyrant Guard need to go down probably even more, to be perfectly honest with you. They kind of suck. At these prices, though, they might be decent enough for it. 2-up save is still legit. You know what I mean? So,
It's strange that they like the emissary and the assimilator hit like they've been in the meta here and there, but they've never really found their spot.
I mean, OC 15 is just legit on the norm, but like you're paying, well, you were paying 275. I'm just saying 275 to babysit an objective was always like, I don't know if that's worth it. You know what I mean? So 260, maybe. I mean, it's still 5 points is 5 points. You know what I mean? Let's scroll down to see that World Leaders got absolutely nothing. I think. Should I talk about? No, we don't have time. We're so late. I'm just going back to the data slate. Let's talk about. Let's make everybody fucking Blair Witch Cam sick because I just scrolled so fast. I mean, Execrate have compromising photos of James Workshop. I don't know how the Execrate have managed to make it through this. Late for what? I do actually have to do random shit. I unfortunately have to get on the phone and talk to an insurance company again. So it makes me super happy.
I
Not,
have to eat a sandwich that I found in a dumpster.
I think that that's valid and probably a real thing. So all in all, Kyle and chat, what are your guys' thoughts on today? Like the changes that we saw.
I I like most of them. I think this was fine. There are probably some Sisters players who are upset and they're trying to pivot out of Bringers, looking to do anything else now. But I mean, you have to pay for your sins sometimes. Eldar's been paying for sins. It's interesting that Eldar didn't get touched at all. I thought they would get some amount of decreases, but I guess this is
Nope. Well, I didn't think Eldar were going to get anything, to be honest. When you're most of the time when GW does any of these, if you're the next book, they just ignore you, whether it's
I
good
mean,
or bad.
so that's kind of where this. I'm surprised. I'm shocked that more things didn't get touched. I definitely thought I was going to wake up and see some amount of nerfs and points for CSM. I thought demons were going to get hit a little bit more too. Like they're trending towards like that 55 win rate, which seems insane to me. I think overall, like some interesting things happen for this specific data slate, but I thought for sure that Space Marines were going to get more love. The damage doesn't feel like love. The points don't feel like love. It just feels like they're kind of in a worse spot now.
Well, it's a worse
But I
spot. I
could be
mean, that
wrong.
is significantly different. Plus, one wound is a hell of a drug. So, some rerolls. I think they did the Primarchs dirty. You know, going up 30 and 65 points. Fucking Jesus, man. I'm pretty sure Bobby G didn't think he was going to wake up this morning and get freaking Sammy Sosa to the face with the Nerf bat. Like, Jesus, man. Hoof. Just hoof. Expecting a 10.8 for the Exos. It also, KR, I do think that your Custodes got better on sideways buff, just because of the fact that I think the armor of Contempt is a big thing.
So the specifically the nerf to or the points for Astromelt's arm, does it change the list that Nemo and Lyle have been playing recently?
Yeah, but the list you saw more often was the combined arms forces, 3 Aquilins, 1 or 2 Scions with tank commanders and, Hydras and the like. Hydras / Hellhounds. Just basically the cheapest holes that they can put out. That army's still amazing. Both the armies are still amazing, to be perfectly fair. To be fair. So, Orcs got significantly better. They were in a bad spot. So, GSC, I think, is wildly better, especially at the highest level. Being able to completely get exactly what you want back is huge. So it's a big deal on that. I think GSC were the biggest winners for sure. I mean, that is huge. It's
So
a
what do
big
you?
one.
Okay, so do your biggest winner, biggest loser. GSC is your biggest winner.
But like wildly biggest winner. Because also the armor contempt stuff helps them a huge amount too, because they have a ton of low AP weapons all over the place. You know what I mean? GSC did not need help, but it did make them way better. I mean, they're just strong right now. Biggest loser? That's tough. The Primarchs. I mean, again, 60-point Bobby G is just hard to. Poof. I mean, huge. Grey Knights did not lose big. You're just on crack. It's just like, Andy, you were at the doctor right now, and he's prescribing crack to you. Armor Contempt 3-inch Deep Strike. The only thing that the Grey Knights got hurt is basically you just can't derp 20 Terminators in front of people and just pop Armor Contempt and just stand in cover. You actually have to play the game. I think the new detachment for Grey Knights is wildly good. You lose shenanigans and you just gain consistency because the detachment rule effectively says get free rerolls everywhere. And that's just a gigantic deal to make sure that you're hitting everything all the time. They just have to play the game. I'm still mad at Armor Contempt because of the World Champions. That is true. Because I played nothing but 2-up save armies that just popped Armor Contempt and watched my orcs bounce on them. Do nothing. Sisters is probably the biggest loser. Even though I think they're fine, I think that they still lost the most out of anybody as faction-wise. Because they got their well, I guess it's specifically Bringers of Flame sisters. All sisters got their miracle dice went down, and then Bringers of Flame, of course, got nerfs to all the stratagems. So I think they probably got hit the most. Tau get hit badly. Yep, that Tau probably benefit a ton from the armor contempt nerf. They have a shit ton of AP1 weapons in their army, so they will do better on that. They needed the 3-inch deep strike. I don't think that's only in the red cat anyways. So, but I mean, I think mainly losing that tiger shark is probably the thing that's. But what are your takes? I got mine. What do you got?
And I probably just agree with you. Like on just by looking over it, glancing over it, it looks like GSC are going to be wildly favored coming out of this. Gaining consistency on coming back is a huge deal. Sisters are probably just taking the lumps that they deserve to take. They've been too good for too long, and this is what happens.
I mean,
I think the fair armies that prey
smacked.
on the fair armies that prey on fair armies also seem to be set up pretty well here.
If you've got an army that has very high like MSU that's shooting a volume of AP1, you just went up wildly in effectiveness.
I do want to. We've missed some talks about the detachments. We probably need to schedule some. We really need to have a whole like discussion about Shatterstar and the Custodes detachment.
I think
GK one.
You know what? I'm going to give you my hot take. We won't get into it super hardcore today, but we will go a deep dive later. Which is, I think Shatterstar is good and wildly overrated. I don't think you have the new robot overlords. I just think it's a very strong detachment. And I think the Custode Dread detachment is bananas good. +2 move, +1 to advance and charge, and having the ability for a strat to advance and charge is so good on an army that's already hitting on 2. Then you get rerolls. You know what I mean? I think the Custodes one might be low-key the best detachment. Or the best upgraded detachment. You know what I mean? From where Custodes were.
I don't agree. I think it's strong. I just don't think like how are we assessing it? In a teams format? It looks crazy.
Well,
in a singles format,
to be honest with you,
like
that is the problem that I do view things from team a lot, you know, and that may be the problem on that. Because in teams, I can take that Custodes Dread detachment and just put it up against somebody that just can't deal with it. Especially on specifically on a board, you play GW1 and you just run all your shit into the V in the middle and right below that piece on the bottom, and just say go to your opponent. They're just like, welp, fuck. You're like, you're gonna get punched next turn by dreadnoughts. You know, they're all +2 OC, so you got a bunch of 5 OC and/or 6 OC dreads rolling on. You know what I mean? Everything in your entire army is a 2-up save, hits on a 2, and is -1 damage, and you can make it -1 to wound. It's a big deal. KR maybe on that. GSC looks wildly strong, especially with you getting to pick and choose what comes back. How does it beat GSC in singles? I don't know if anybody beats GSC in singles right now. Like Super MSU maybe.
Yeah, other fair MSU armies have a chance. Not a great one, but they're standing there.
I mean, that just something they got really strong. So we'll see on that one.
I think Shatterstar has the most sleeping potential currently. I think once people start figuring it out that you can't just like, yeah, you want to jam big dumb things and get your rerolls and do whatever, but if they start balancing it out and playing it more,
we'll see.
Big guys.
I just don't think you have that much stuff in that Shatterstar though. Also, Matt, the mandatory 40-point enhancement to get +1 to grenade dice makes me laugh. Dude, I don't think there's a worse enhancement, especially one that you have to take in that detachment in the game. That is the worst. Oof. Just wow. That one, yeah, that sucks. A double tornado of dicks. Like maybe 2 tornadoes of cocks spinning around each other. That's
so what are we looking forward to moving forward, what's some thing, like, obviously we know nothing.
I'm looking forward to Eldar because I'm super excited for Eldar. But I just like Eldar's my favorite faction. So I'm very I want to see what they put out for that. I'm not as worried about because I think that this is my pick. I think that they're going to put out an IG and an Eldar detachment, and both of them are not going to be have anything to do with the regiments or the craft world. Do you know what I mean? Like I think Eldar is going to show the uppy downy one, the webway detachment, and then Guard will probably have a Scion detachment for the Advent calendar, and then they'll show the real juice in the codexes. So I'm not super excited for those in December because I don't think they're gonna be the Jimmy Jam, the juice, the tasty, the bee's knees.
Hmm.
But I am very excited to see what they're gonna do with the demon detachments in the god specifics.
Same, yeah. If Slaanesh get advanced in charge, it's on. It's on site. All bets are off. I'm back.
I'm back. You're
That's
back,
it.
baby.
Yeah, I'm so back. I think that like I feel refreshed today. Like this is what we were waiting for. I didn't really like the detachments were cool. I liked reading them, and I was like, nothing matters until we see the points. Okay, we have our points. We know how the meta is going to shape up from here moving forward. Now all bets are off. It's time to get in the kitchen and start cooking. We have a couple, 20 more days of detachments coming out. We will see what we can make. I think there's a lot of cool things that are going to start popping up soon.
I do like the fact that they're giving us more detachments with more movement shenanigans. I'm really tired of uppy downy shit, to be perfectly honest with you. I like these detachments that are giving the options for +2 to move. Obviously the built-in one in Custodes that, but like they have multiples of these detachments that have, you can assign +2 to move, like the AdMech, even the Librarius one. But like getting plus movement I love a lot because it makes you can make great decisions and utilize that movement. Uppy Downy basically says, hey, did you make shitty moves? Cool, you're not punished for them. It used to be like back in my day, if you charge something in the corner, well, you had to deal with the fact that you made a shitty decision to charge something in the corner. And now you had to walk your ass back out. Now with uppy downy, you just go, I made a stupid move. I'll just pick the unit up and doop, 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 I'm back in the game. So be punished for your mistakes, just like in life.
I mean, the big thing is the 3-inch deep strike nerf. I'm glad it's gone. It needed to be touched. It needed to be
Yeah,
not a thing. It made a ton of feel bad moments in games, and now it's just going to be better. Everyone's going to be better moving forward.
I agree, 100%. So I'm juiced. I'm psyched. I'm pretty popped up actually. I like these changes quite a bit. I think they really they smoke checked it. I think besides the 10th edition data slate that basically made 10th edition worth playing, uh, I think this is the best one. I think this is huge. I think this is great rules. I think they did well with GSC. I think that rule is so much better than Ambush was before. I think the armor and contempt, the 3-inch deep strike being nuked, uh, I think they did well. I think that the points were a little fucked, but I think that the data slate, if you're talking about just the data slate here, I think all those rules are amazing. I think that the points were meh. I don't agree with the points. You know what I mean? I think a lot of the people got punished for the rule they got given. Uh, so that I think that the points shouldn't have gone up so much for a lot of these things, but I like where the points are. I think the detachments that they put out so far have been good. Uh, except for the Chaos Knight one, which is fucking god awful terrible. But all the detachments are interesting and the data slate's amazing. So that's where I'm at.
I'm really not looking forward to GSC coming back, but we'll deal with it.
You could do be awesome.
So we're moving to the end of the year, starting 2025. Do we have any plans, any announcements, any ideas of how 2025 is going to shape up?
Yeah, I have a bunch of them, but I've got more stuff to do till then. I've got announcements of channels. I've got all kinds of things to do. I got Content lined up. Shit is
You got to
going
make
down.
sure that you get your ticket to Glass City because you don't have one and it's sold out.
Stinks put me on the wait list, and I said, he's like, hey, I just put you on the wait list because you're an idiot. And I go, here's the deal. I'm going to play in the tournament. Don't make it weird for the person who I just take their stuff and throw it in the street. When someone has to complain that a midget bit me, midget being me, of course, like, don't make it weird. He's got extra space. Anyways, they can make that have like 20 more people if they really wanted to. There's a whole nother room we don't use. So it's going to be awesome. I'll be at Glass City. I'll be dancing. It's going to be
After
awesome.
Glass City, we'll be in North Carolina for a Teams event.
That's going to be awesome. Juice's place is amazing. I have to give props to Juice.
I'm looking forward to that one.
So that's a great time. When is that actually? Is that in February?
In March.
March?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a ticket?
I believe so.
Do we need to ask an adult?
We'll have to call Father Lyle later.
Father Lyle, please help us out, feeble young lads. All right, let's Queens wave our way out. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning / afternoon. It is afternoon now. And I will see you soon. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. So until then, later, Gators.